All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to where it's due. To Yahweh, Bahashim, Yashah, Bahashim, Archdash. Giving all glory and honor to the Almighty Yahweh, Bahashim, Yashah. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who were well entitled to the truth. Shalom to the sincere brothers out there who are pushing the truth and edifying the brothers and sisters who are setting diligence, presenting their bodies as the living sacrifice for the Most High Yahweh, Bahashim, Yashah. And shalom to the elect scattered, bro. This is your brother Ayawab, come back at you today through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Shabbat Shem Kakadash with another lesson entitled, I don't know, it's going to be to the effect of the coronavirus because that's what's popping off. That's what the main topic is right now. But I'll think of a title for it later. This is from the news right here, Apple News, I guess. The Washington Post says coronavirus live updates. This is from March 22nd, today at 12:16. Says confirmed cases top 300,000 worldwide. And then the top WHO, which is World Health Organization, officials say lockdowns alone not sufficient. So these devils want more. They want to just do what they want to do. They just want to do it all globally, the whole United States. But they can't. The whole world. They just want to lock down the whole world, but they can't. They got to do it with bits and pieces. They got to do it here a little, then They got to slowly expand it out. It says as more governments adopt lockdown measures, the top World Health Organization officials said on Sunday, such restrictions alone are not sufficient to contain the coronavirus pandemic. Confirmed cases surged past 300,000 globally over the weekend. Infections in the United States climbing to more than 26,000 by Sunday morning, according to tracking by the Washington Post. So it says here are some significant developments. Spain moved closer to extending its nationwide lockdown, while an increasing number of cities and countries announced restrictions on citizen movement in order to shut down most business and bans on travel. Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin said lawmakers in the Trump administration are close to finalizing a massive financial rescue package. China begins clinical trials for vaccine. North Korea says Trump offered to help in the fight against coronavirus. Iran's supreme leader rejected American offer of aid in the country's fight against a devastating outbreak. And this is all that's happened today. I'm gonna start from the very beginning of today. Which I ain't gonna read all. I might read some of it. I believe. Hold on. I ain't gonna read all of it. I'm gonna skip through some. So this was last night, I guess, at 12 a.m. 12:24. So this was 21st. It says at least 21 inmates, 17 employees infected in New York City jail's correction watchdog says. So you got 21 inmates, and that was in New York City test positive. Man, how the inmates test positive? They don't even go nowhere. So you got that at 1 a.m. You got FAA says 11 air traffic facilities affected by infections. 1:31, man disguised as delivery driver stole 29 coronavirus test kits from Tuscan Health Center. They getting desperate, man. China begins clinical trial for coronavirus vaccine. 2:29, El Salvador, Guatemala orders citizens stay home. This was while y'all sleep. Gaza reports first 2 cases raising fears of mass outbreak in densely populated enclave. Colombia reports first coronavirus death. 418, Singapore to ban all visitors from entering or transiting beginning Monday. Pakistan locks down province, bans flights as coronavirus spreads. Ohio clinics ordered to halt abortions deemed non-essential amid coronavirus response. But that's already wicked enough. We're just going to stop y'all having from abortions unless it's necessary, unless it's essential. What abortion is essential, man? That's just wicked, man. Or any leader rejects America offer. Read that. No, I think there's one right here. It says 7:01 a.m. Top WHO officials warn that lockdowns alone are not sufficient. Let's read this one. Not all of it. That's too long. Maybe. It says the Spanish government is expected to announce on Sunday an extension of its 2-week state of emergency by another 15 days in hopes of starving off another spike in coronavirus infections. Where this I want to see about the WHO. Maybe up here. No. Keep going. It says on Sunday, authorities announced test results had confirmed nearly 4,000 additional cases of novel coronavirus inside the country and another 394 deaths, bringing the latest death total to 1,720. It says, but lockdowns have not drawn unanimous support, even from public health officials who say that lockdowns alone are not sufficient. What we really need to focus on is finding those who are sick, those who have the virus, and isolate them. Find their contacts and isolate them. Mike Ryan, the World Health Organization chief emergency expert, said on Sunday. The danger right now with the lockdown is if we don't put in place a strong public health measures now, when those movement restrictions and lockdowns are lifted, the danger is the disease will jump back in. Then you had seen that they had these National Guard troopers, they not even wearing masks. And they said they've been self-quarantining them. And they said, and I was on W7, they said if that they are our last offense, and if they go down, then that bringing them blue troopers, them UN troopers. This is 8:18 a.m. Netflix is reducing stream resolution across Europe to reduce internet load during the pandemic. So they gonna shut down the internet anyways. It says Netflix announced it is reducing traffic by 25% across Europe for the next 30 days to avoid a spike in usage during coronavirus initiated lockdown periods. 8:31 a.m. Worse is yet to come. Spain moves closer to extending lockdown. I'll just read this one. It says, worse is yet to come. We haven't reached the worst wave that will test their outer limits of our resources, Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said in the televised news conference Sunday night. We have to gain time to get ahead of this risk. There was another one that went into that as well. I'll read. Lockdown in India's capital after a 14-hour nationwide curfew. See, FEMA over here again. Says FEMA chief declines to give detailed timeline on when more masks will be delivered. Was that it? I don't think so. It says Australia's Prime Minister orders closure of pubs, gyms, and places of worship. I thought there was one. Oh, here it is. 11:33 a.m. April is going to be worse than March, de Blasio says. Mayor Bill de Blasio says Sunday that there are 8,000 confirmed coronavirus cases in New York City, accounting for about a third of those reported in the United States. There have been 60 deaths from the virus in the city, de Blasio said. He said he expects the crisis to worsen in the coming weeks and months. April is going to be worse than March, and I fear May will be worse than April, de Blasio said on NBC's News Meet the Press. So bluntly, it's going to get worse, a lot worse, before it gets better. So let's hope so, Lord willing. He added that New York City is about 10 days from experiencing widespread shortages of essential medical supplies such as ventilators. It says right now I've asked repeatedly for the military to be mobilized for the Defense Production Act to be used to the fullest to get us things like ventilators so people can live who would have died otherwise. De Blasio said, I can't be blunt enough. If the president does not act, people would die who could have lived otherwise. But I like what he said. April is going to be worse than March, and I fear May will be worse than April. Lord willing. But that's what I wanted to get on that. There ain't really nothing else I want to get. Refresh this. Says confirmed global coronavirus infection case doubled in a week to pass 310,000. It says top Democrats say they're not yet ready to sign off on a coronavirus stimulus. And I was watching. What was I watching? It said if they don't, that would have if they don't sign off on that deal, that could have major impact on that. It says U.S. economy deteriorating faster than expected. What was it? What was this one?
As the coronavirus accelerates in the U.S.
So I'll let you watch this little video. This goes in on at the end. The dude talks about like it wouldn't be good if they didn't sign off on this deal, I believe. That's why I'm letting y'all watch it.
As the coronavirus accelerates in the U.S., economists have been predicting immense economic devastation as a result. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin recently said that if a big stimulus package is not enacted, the unemployment rate could rise to 20%, a level unseen since the Great Depression. For weeks, the White House has been pushing the idea of a payroll tax cut to stem the economic fallout.
The payroll tax holiday is a serious proposal.
And then in the span of days, really pretty remarkably, we've seen an enormous shift to the point at which Mnuchin and Trump agreed with the idea to send immediate cash checks to Americans across the country.
We're looking at sending checks to Americans immediately.
They suggested that check could be $1,000. $1,000 to virtually every American in the working class, poor, middle class, and potentially even upper income. Basically, what happened was there was concern that the payroll tax cut would not accelerate through the economy fast enough.
The payroll tax holiday would get people money over the next 6 to 8 months. Americans need cash now, and the president wants to get cash now. And I mean now in the next 2 weeks.
There's a new emerging debate, really, about whether that $1,000 needs to be a one-time stimulus. The checks go out the door, let's say in a couple weeks, and that's the last time we do that. But then other people are looking at projections that this could go on for months and months and months and saying we need to build in a package that requires recurring stimulus checks. On Wednesday, the Senate approved the House-passed $8.3 billion initial relief package. But that Secretary Mnuchin has described as really the first or second inning. If this is a ball game, we're still at the very beginning stages, and that is really just setting the stage for the larger ideas, the bigger stimulus checks, the $1,000 to everyone, money for airlines and for other industries. By next week, however, the Senate could approve a $1 trillion stimulus package, much bigger than the package we've seen pass already. After that is passed, the Senate, that will be expected to send back to the House, which can approve that third package. Speaker Nancy Pelosi would likely have substantial changes. We don't know what those are exactly yet. If this package fails, imperfect as it might be, the consequences for the American economy, we could be looking at people in devastating situations for months. And people are going to hurt either way. But right now, the stock market has fallen precipitously over the last few days. And that is really with the expectation that Congress gets this done. So if that fails, if Congress fails, the stock market will fall, much further, and the economic ramifications we could be seeing for months, if not years.
So that's what it was. Instead, if they don't approve that bill, people could have devastating situations, and the stock market could fall more than it is already. potentially. And that he did that March 18th, and it said right here, top Democrats. You got Nancy Pelosi right there, say they're not yet ready to sign off on a coronavirus stimulus. It's like, you know. So let's just get second Ezra. You already know. And then you had the brothers in California. They wasn't allowed to go out. They had that lockdown. So they did in a brother's house. I don't know what went straight to 14, but it says, behold, this is 2 Ezra 15 verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, Lord, the prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imagination against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. That's what's happening, man. He's bringing the famine, bringing destruction, death, the sword, all that. It just ain't into, we seen the beginning stages of it. And we ain't really seen the sword, we ain't really seen the famine, we ain't really seen the death, we ain't really seen the destruction, but we seeing it coming to into effect. You know, and especially when in these next couple months, is you got some people saying, and the Akim saying we in the beginning stages, that we're gonna see more of this. We're gonna see more sword, famine, death, and destruction. It says, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. It said, therefore said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent blood and righteous blood crieth unto me, and I saw the just complain continually, and that's what we do. That's what we do. So I'm going to jump down to verse 11. But I will bring them with the mighty hand and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And that's what's happening, man. That's what's happening. Verse 16. I'm going to jump down to 14. Second Ezra 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's what it's looking like what it's coming to in the coming months, man. Lord willing. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And then you already got that. They shut down the Mexican border, shut down the Canadian border for non-essential travel. So if you ain't, to their standards, have essential business, I guess you can't go back and forth across from one country to the other. Europe, China, can't go nowhere, man. Can't. Then they got Chicago lockdown, Illinois, California, New York, and then in Philadelphia, I believe it was Philadelphia. You can't non-essential businesses are shut down. And then you got all these army trucks coming into fruition. You seeing more of them on trains, coming in on trains in Atlanta, Florida, all these other places, man. So they starting to come down. Why? There's Revelation 12, verse 12. Where is it at? Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein. Dwell in them, Slaki. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil hath come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. They know they have a short time, man. They know they have a short time, so they're gonna bring in that them FEMA troops, Army troops, National Guard troops, and maybe even the UN troops. We're gonna bring in everybody, and bring in martial law and all that, and try to implement that trip because they know they have a short time, man. They got to get things done. They got to get things done, man. This is 2nd Ezra 1 from the top. It's like 2nd Ezra 16 from the top. Woe be unto thee, Babylon, and Asia, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Get up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry for your destruction at hand. Their destruction at hand, man. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? And fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Man, the Lord is sending these plagues, the coronavirus. You don't forget about them billions, I believe it's billions of locusts swarming over in the Middle East. Man, the coronavirus is here. Who's going to drive it away? Who's going to drive this plague away? Unless it be the Lord. It said, may a man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it hath begun to burn? No, man. More that no. 2nd Ezra 9. It might be 8. No, it's not. 2nd Ezra 9. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past, when I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Man, that's what's coming, man. He's beginning to visit the world. Therefore, when there shall be seeing earthquakes and uproar of the people, and there's going to be uproar of the people, they're not going to want to stay inside, man. This is America. This is that do as thou want spirit, which is going to be cut off. But they ain't gonna want to stay in their homes. They ain't gonna be locked down. They want to do what they want to do, especially Jake. As the Akin was saying at the camp, they don't even want to listen to the Lord. What makes you think they're gonna listen to Esau? It says, then verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end is manifest. The end is manifest, man. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and the endings and effects and signs. So the endings have effects and signs. We see these signs, man. We've been seeing these signs. We've seen these signs, man. And we here. Lord willing. I'm about to close out because I got to be somewhere. I don't know if you heard that, but this is, if you didn't hear me, I just said I got to be somewhere. So I'm going to have to have a couple more scriptures, one or two. This is Romans 13 verse 11, and that knowing the time that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. Man, we almost here, man. Our salvation is nearer than we believed. So we almost here, man. We are almost here. Amos 8 verse 11, behold, the days coming, saith the Lord, power, Yahweh, Hashem Yasha, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor thirst, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, Hashem Yasha, the Lord. So, man, you better get it while Seek the Lord while he may be found. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Isaiah 55 verse 6. Seek ye the Lord Yahweh Hashem Shah while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. He's found. He's found right now. There's a little glimpse, but he's being found. He's near, but he's about to get up through. He's about to close the door to repentance, man. Because once the men of the Lord are cut off, I'm not gonna say cut off, but once the men of the Lord are off the streets, then the word is cut off. No more receiving. That means the elect is sealed. And then we can just sit back. The men of the Lord can just sit back, relax, praise the Lord, sing songs unto the Lord, and watch the destruction and the prophecies unfold before their very eyes. Because we're here, man. Lord willing, we are here. We don't want to go back to normal. We don't want this place to go back to normal. So we got to pray faster. This is the end, man. And if it's not the end, then we'll wait. We're prisoners of hope. That's all we are. Prisoners of hope. And if this ain't the end, which Lord willing it is, no brother, I can, especially in GMS, and not be wanting things to go back to normal. We should be praying that this is the end. Don't want this place to go back to normal. We want this place to continue on a downfall, on a spiral, on a spiral downfall. We want it to plummet, decrease, diminish. But so I had first and foremost say Ka Halayim La Yahweh Shem Shah B'Hashem Kadas. Giving all glory and honor to the Almighty Yahweh Shem Shah. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us truth. Shalom to the sincere brothers out there who are preaching this truth and edifying their brothers and sisters while sharing diligence. And shalom to the elect scattered abroad. Lord willing, this video was edifying to the spiritual body to the fold. Stay focused, stay diligent, yo. Until next time. Kwame Yashala. Shalom.